Welcome to the AirGlide installation step-by-step guide. Below are the main steps covered in this video. One. Before you begin, required tools and components, not included. You'll need hex keys in the following sizes: 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/16 inch, 5/32 inch, 9/64 inch, and 1/16 inch. Have a combination wrench in each of these sizes: 7/16 inch, 1/2 inch, and 9/16 inch. You'll also need a level, a large framing square, and either a drill with a Phillips bit or a Phillips screwdriver. A 100 psi air source with water separator. AirGlide dimensions. Confirm your space. The AirGlide is 99 inches wide and 102 inches high. Depth is 32 inches with the wall mount, or 49 inches with the floor stand. Because 8.5 feet is taller than most 8-foot ceilings, verify vertical clearance and leave extra room around the machine for access and safe operation. Safety information. Before you begin, review these warnings. This is a cutting machine. Expect sharp blades and crush hazards. Keep hands, hair, loose clothing, and jewelry well clear of moving parts. Make sure the unit is properly mounted so it cannot tip. Shut off the compressor and release system pressure before servicing. Wear eye protection and gloves at all times, and follow the placards and the user manual. For storage or shipping, do not exceed 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 Celsius, and keep the panels away from direct sun or other heat sources. Assembly takes about 90 minutes. A 2-person team is recommended. Two. Unboxing and inventory. Open the box on a clean, level surface. Remove the accessory box containing the manual, airline, hardware, cartridges, and consumables. Lay out and verify all contents, inspect for damage, and keep all packaging until install is complete. If anything is missing or damaged, stop and contact Wizard Technical Support. 1 gantry and vertical rail support assembly. 1 horizontal rail and extended rail. 2 backboard assemblies, left and right. 1 extender leg. 1/3 leg. 1 vertical rail support with pre-installed hardware. 1 wall mount with pre-installed brackets and hardware. 1 airline with 1/4 inch NPT female quick disconnect. 1 left and right material stop. 1 material strip spacer. 4 cutting cartridges, blade, acrylic, glass, and composite. 50 replacement blades for the blade cartridge. 1 glass cartridge replacement scoring wheel. 1 cartridge holder. Here's a look at the included hardware that comes in the accessory box. Three. Assemble frame. Lay out the gantry and vertical rail support assembly, and both the horizontal and extended rail. Note that the horizontal rail is both deeper and taller than the extended rail and will come with 2 temporary installed shipping fasteners. Slide the horizontal rail into the lower opening of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly from the right until centered. You can now remove and discard the 2 temporary pre-installed shipping fasteners. Slide the extended rail into the gantry and vertical rail support assembly from the left side. Align the two holes on the underside of the extended rail with the two pre-installed bolts. Thread in and tighten the bolts using a 3/16" hex key until the extended rail is flush with the horizontal rail. Set aside one 5" bolt with 2 washers and 1 nut. Align the hole on the horizontal rail with the hole on the gantry and vertical rail support assembly. From the back, insert the 5" bolt with 1 washer through both rails. Add the second washer and the nut on the top side and hand tighten. Hold the bolt head with a 3/16" hex key and tighten the 7/16" nut until the washers seat and both rails are flush. Four, install backboard assemblies. Loosen backboard stabilizers. Use a 3/16" hex key to loosen the 3 bolts on both left and right backboard stabilizers. About 2 to 3 turns. Do not remove these bolts. The stabilizers should float just a bit, so the backboards can drop into place smoothly. Install right backboard assembly. Locate the right backboard assembly and one 4" bolt with 1 washer. Pre-insert the 4" bolt with washer into the lower hole on the left side of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly. Lift the right backboard assembly and slide it into place, resting it on the loosened stabilizers. Align the hole at the top inside corner of the assembly rail with the pre-inserted 4" bolt and hand tighten. Using a 3/16" hex key, tighten so the board seats, but can still shift slightly. Set aside one 2.5" bolt with 1 washer and 1 square spacer. Insert one 2.5" bolt from the back side of the assembly rail, washer on the back side, and the square spacer between the assembly rail and the horizontal rail. Start by hand, then tighten with the 3/16" hex key, leaving slight play. Install left backboard assembly. Locate the left backboard assembly and one 4" bolt with 1 washer. Pre-insert one 4" bolt with washer into the top hole on the right side of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly. Lift and slide the left backboard assembly into place. Align the hole at the top inside corner of the assembly rail with the pre-inserted 4" bolt and hand tighten. Using a 3/16" hex key, tighten so the board seats, but can still shift slightly. Insert the 2.5" bolt from the backside with the washer and spacer. Hand start, then tighten with the 3/16" hex key, leaving slight play. Five, install extender leg. Install extender support bars. Set aside extender support bars with pre-installed hardware. Slide one extender support bar into the open end of the left backboard assembly rail in the lower position. Insert one 5/8" bolt with a washer through the lower hole of the assembly rail into the bar. Hand thread first, then tighten with a 3/16" hex key. Slide the other extender support bar into the top position on the same end of the rail. Insert two 5/8" bolts each with 1 washer through the upper holes of the assembly rail into the bar. Tighten evenly with the 3/16" hex key. Confirm both bars are flat and evenly seated. Remove the remaining 4 5/8" bolts with washers from the bars and set aside for the extender leg install. Attach extender leg. Ready the extender leg. and 4 5/8-inch bolts with one washer. Slide the extender leg onto the 2 extender support bars. Insert 2 5/8-inch bolts with washers into the bottom holes. Then repeat for the top. Hand thread all 4, then tighten evenly with the 3/16-inch hex key until the extender leg sits flush. You'll need one 2.5-inch bolt with a washer. Insert one 2.5-inch bolt with a washer through the rear hole of the extender leg and into the horizontal rail. Then tighten with the 3/16-inch hex key until the washer seats flat. Leave slight play for alignment. 6. Floor stand. Skip to Chapter 7 for wall mount instructions. Attach vertical rail support. Floor stand only. For this step, you'll need the vertical rail support with pre-installed hardware. Remove the pre-installed bolts. Slide the vertical rail support into the bottom of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly and align the holes. Reinstall the bolts with washers. Start by hand. Then tighten evenly with the 3/16-inch hex key until the support sits flush. Attach third leg, floor stand only. Ready the third leg. And 2 2.5-inch bolts, each with 2 washers and 1 nut. With the AirGlide upright, align the 4 holes on the third leg with the 4 holes on the rear bracket of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly. Insert 2 2.5-inch bolts, each with 2 washers and 1 nut, through the bracket and third leg. From the back side, add the second washer and the nut. Start both by hand. Hold the bolt head with a 3/16-inch hex key and tighten nut with a 7/16-inch wrench until both washers seat and the third leg is secure. 7. Wall mount, optional. Go to Chapter 6 for floor stand instructions. Locate the wall mount with pre-installed brackets and hardware. And 2 1/4-inch by 2.5-inch screws, each with 1 washer. Install the wall mount to a wall stud. Measure and mark the lower hole at 63 inches from the floor. Mark the upper hole 4 1/4 inches above the lower hole, or 67 1/4 inches above the floor. Insert 2 1/4-inch by 2.5-inch screws with 1 washer each into the upper and lower holes of the wall mount and into the wall stud. Secure using a Phillips screwdriver or drill. Next, you'll need 2 2.5-inch bolts, each with 2 washers and 1 nut. Attach the AirGlide to the wall mount using 2 2.5-inch bolts, each with 2 washers and 1 nut. Hold the bolt heads with a 3/16-inch hex key and tighten the nuts with a 7/16-inch wrench until the wall mount and bracket are seated flush. 8. Adhere backboards to frame. Push gently on each backboard from behind to flex it outward and expose the double-sided tape. Peel the tape liner from the bottom up and remove it. From the front, press firmly along the gantry and vertical rail support assembly to adhere the backboards to the frame. 9. Install cartridge holder and material stops. Install cartridge holder. On the underside of the horizontal rail, remove the 2 pre-installed button head screws with a 1/8-inch hex key. Place the cartridge holder under the rail with the open slots facing forward. Align its mounting holes with the screw holes, then reinstall and tighten the 2 screws until the holder is secure. Slide the acrylic, blade, glass, and composite cartridges into the holder. Position material stops. Locate both left and right material stops. Install both material stops by sliding each onto the horizontal rail from the end. The stop with the shorter fingers goes on the left side of the rail. Use the silver finger as the general purpose stop for most materials, and the gold finger for composite material. Its built-in offset accounts for the thicker surface. Position each stop at the desired measurement, then tighten the black knob to lock it in place. Attach the material strip spacer by aligning its two openings with the fingers on the right material stop, then slide it on until it seats snug. Square and level. Square the AirGlide. For accurate cuts, square the AirGlide before first use. Use a large framing square to confirm the gantry and vertical rail support assembly is perpendicular to the horizontal rail. Place the short edge of the square flat on the horizontal rail and slide the long edge up against the gantry and vertical rail support assembly. If you see a gap at the top or bottom, the AirGlide needs adjustment. Loosen the bolt on the back of each vertical support using a 3/16" hex key. Then loosen the single bolt on the back of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly using a 1/4" hex key. Loosen each just enough so the horizontal rail can move. Gently adjust the horizontal rail until the square sits flat along the gantry and vertical rail support assembly with no visible gaps. When the rail is square, tighten the bolt on the back of each vertical support using a 3/16" hex key. Then, tighten the single bolt on the back of the gantry and vertical rail support assembly using a 1/4" hex key. Secure backboard stabilizers. Use the 3/16" hex key to tighten the 3 bolts securing both stabilizers so they firmly support the backboards. Start with the inside bolt on each stabilizer and work outward until all 3 are tight. Level the AirGlide. Place a level on the horizontal rail, resting it against the backboards. Check the bubble in the center. If it's off to either side, the AirGlide needs leveling. Use a 1/2" wrench to raise or lower the adjustable feet at the bottom of each support until the bubble moves towards center. Work side to side with small adjustments until the bubble is directly centered. The AirGlide is now level. 11. Connect air source. Attach the supplied air line with the 1/4" NPT female quick disconnect to the port on the left side of the air regulator. Push it in firmly until it seats. Attach the other end of the air line to your air source. Turn on air and let pressure build until the regulator gauge reads 90 psi. If you hear air vent at first pressurization, hold the quick disconnect tip for a few seconds to help the seal set. Installation is now complete, and the AirGlide is ready for operation. For additional help with the AirGlide, contact Wizard Technical Support at wizardcutters.com/support or call 425-551-4300, then option 1.